Marky Mark's Woodshop Adventures.
So we're here at the lumber yard selecting some lumber for our project. Thank you very much. Here's something you don't want to leave home without going to a lumber yard, a tape measure. So we got to get a couple hundred board feet of poplar, which is behind our videographer. She wanted the cool stuff in the video, but right there is some of the wood I got to select. I've got to select different lengths and maybe some different widths. So that's where we're at the moment.
So what kind of things are you looking for in the lumber?
Well, because this needs to be a painted surface and glossy, checks I want to avoid. Knots I need to avoid, which in common wood you're going to, it's part of this kind of edge that would normally have to be cut off. I want to avoid. Live edge I need to avoid. However, this next one looks very promising.
A little kingwood. It's a beautiful piece of wood. Okay, so we're here in Marky Mark's Adventures at the moment, and we're at Eden Saw. As you can see, the Eden Saw Woods, and this is Paul, and he's going to give us a little information about coming to the lumber yard.
Oh yeah, it's a fun place. I mean, I'm a skateboarder, so working with wood, it just goes hand in hand. Pet peeves about the place: people show up in Priuses instead of trucks. So I got to throw a ply on top of a Prius, and they end up dumping it right outside, on the main road. So that'd be my only main complaint, is bring a truck. But other than that, super fun. Probably the best job I ever had.
So what is this area compared to the other area over in the front by the showroom?
Everything out here is going to be rough versus the showroom. It's been milled already, and they'll carry slabs out there, and this is basically just like our main inventory. So.
And something about the measurements?
Measurements? Well, everything's either tallied board foot or by lineal footage. Yeah, just either piece count or board footage.
And how many different species of woods do you have in here?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go on almost 50.
50?
Yeah.
Your favorite wood?
Favorite wood? Probably
and why?
Sapele. Sapele because it's really versatile, and the ribbon grain is what sells it for me. So, yeah.
Thanks very much, Paul, for your time.
Well, hi there. We're back from shopping, and we have a pile of goodies for our next project. I spent several hours selecting this wood for a specific project. Poplar was chosen because it's going to be painted, and poplar's a low luster wood, so it doesn't really show off well, so to speak, like some more exotic woods or walnut or mahogany. But it is probably the most common utilitarian wood in the country. About 11% of the hardwoods cultivated is poplar. They use it for many, many things, from furniture carcasses, the wood inside that you don't see, pallets, paper, oh my goodness, veneer bases and plywood, actually cardboard. It's becoming popular for use as biofuel. Some of the other interesting things about poplar is the grain's kind of straight, and it's very recognizable because it'll have green and gray streaks or colorings in it. I'm not going to lift the board up to show you. They're kind of long and unwieldy at the moment. I just moved some 10-footers out of the way. They grow quite big and quite fast also. They'll get up to about 150, 160 feet. And they only live about 50 years or so. So they grow big and fast, which is another good reason that makes them commercially viable. And some other good things about poplar is it's a very stable wood. There's not a whole lot of movement. And it has a spring quality to it, which makes it a good choice for things like skateboards, skis, and such. There's about 35 different species of poplar, which also includes cottonwoods and aspens. They fall into the same family. The bark is smooth and gray, unlike, say, oaks or pine, which are good back-scratching trees. What else? Oh, the roots are very extensive too, because it's a big tree. The roots can actually grow out to like 130 feet in diameter to support the tree, and they will be invasive. So if you've got a sapling or whatever, a young tree you want to plant in your yard, they're a good choice for shade trees. You want to keep them away from sidewalks because those roots will ruin your sidewalk. It'll lift them up. Although they're not very durable in the sense that you know, it's a bad choice to use for, say, outdoor furniture. You know, in that sense too, they're also susceptible to insect infestations, although it's not that common. But it can happen. Where I grew up, there were poplar stands, and they were pretty much insect-free. I'm sure that's regional, like other diseases that hit trees. Another little tidbit about poplars that my beloved might want to know is there's a particular mushroom, the only kind of mushroom, and it only adheres to dead poplar. I made a note here. I'm trying to find the name, but I'm having a hard time putting my hand on it. It's something like an Asian, some kind of Asian plum mushroom or something. It's a unique mushroom that only grows on dead poplar. So
for my mushroom garden?
For your mushroom garden, yeah. Mushrooms are big here in the Northwest. Go figure. So that's something my little gardener wanted to try, but we really haven't got fresh cut logs for her to use, which you need to have for mushrooms evidently. So anyway, the poplar is a cheap wood, and it's widely available. You can get it everywhere. It grows everywhere in the northern hemisphere, Asia, North America, down to Mexico, Europe. It does prefer warmer, moister climates, such as our southeast. There's a lot more there than in the northern part of the country, although you'll find them everywhere. And the price is fairly stable across the country. It's a little bit cheaper on the East Coast than it is here, but it was fair. This batch was fairly cheap. It was a little bit more than $2 a board foot, I think. Back east, if you go directly to the mills, you might do as cheap as $1 a foot. You can pay up to $4 a foot. Widths, you can get very wide pieces of poplar because these trees will get to be, they'll have 8-foot trunks. So getting wide pieces of poplar is not unusual. I've got a couple of wider pieces there I had to purchase, which were more than the thinner pieces. What else? Oh, one of the really redeeming features about poplar is it provides a very good surface to paint on. And these will have a high gloss painted finish on them, so they're going to be sanded very smooth, and the edges hopefully will be undetectable. That's what we're shooting for. And here's another little interesting tidbit. What famous painting was painted on poplar? That's your cue, my dear.
What famous painting is that?
The Mona Lisa was painted on poplar. So there you go. If it's good enough for Leonardo, it's good enough for us. So I think there's only one more thing I want to say about poplar. It is an irritant. It will provide symptoms similar to asthma. So when I'm in here cutting with my beloved, she will be wearing a mask. Fortunately, I attached a dust collector to the saw, which hopefully you saw in a previous video. We'll be testing it out today. And hopefully that catches a lot of the dust, if not all of it. The bottom's pretty well enclosed, so whatever little bit escapes by the blade and whatever cracks and crevices might be there, we'll find out. But I'm hoping that's going to go a long way in abating the dust that I'm going to generate. Oh, I remembered one more tidbit. While poplar is a hardwood, it's also the softest hardwood. So it's the least dense. So I think that's probably all of the fun facts I have about poplar. So that kind of ends our trip. And I'm just going to start doing what I got to do. I got to clean the edges up on the boards. So see you later, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the videos. If you have any suggestions, whether it be about our videography or the shop, whatever it may be, feel free, please. See you later.